let's go to the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk hotline and bring in the head coach of the Amarillo Tascosa Rebels. We're joined by Coach Ken Plunk. Coach, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How are things in beautiful Amarillo, Texas?
Weather's great right now.
Well,
we are not used to this in late November.
I was going to say that's kind of a change of pace for you guys.
Yeah. Last time we were in the third round, it was 6 degrees.
You guys are through to the regional semifinals after a resounding win last week over a really good Arlington team. I'm really interested. Last week, you guys go into the game with Arlington, a team that's undefeated, a team that had really been hot, and you guys kind of find a way to crack the code. What was the game plan going in against what had been an unstoppable Arlington squad?
Well, I mean, we were just going to play good, solid football. We knew, we're pretty good at running the football and thought we might control the clock. The game didn't turn out the way. I mean, we thought we could win it, but we didn't think we'd get up 35-3. I mean, that was 3 turnovers. One was kind of a fluke deal. 2 of them were just good plays by us, and then one, we had a receiver, ball popped up, and we returned it almost for a touchdown. So, I mean, if I could have scripted that as a game plan, I would have. But really, truthfully, we just played well, and we've been playing well. This is we were kind of peaking, we think, at the right time. It started right at the beginning of district. I was not extremely pleased with our performance in the non-district, but going into district, we started playing better and kind of continued through the playoffs. Yeah,
you mentioned that. I was going to kind of bring that up. The non-district slate for you guys was bit of fits and starts. You lose to a good Amarillo team. You struggle a little bit with Abilene in the opener, but you get the win. You go and you play that odd cross-regional game with Brownsville, Hanna, and San Antonio, and lose to what's obviously a really good Hanna team. They're still rolling. What was it? Did you feel like something changed right before district play? Because it seems like since then you guys have really been playing at a different level.
I think so. And of course, and you brought it up. I mean, the Hanna loss. Hanna's good.
Yeah.
That's I think some people would predict us to win that, and that's probably not based on any evidence. Hanna was a good football team, and we went down and played decently well. They just played a lot better and played a lot harder and played more intensity and I think it's shown. I mean, they're still playing. So I think the thing that we did, one, we were pretty young, particularly on offense. I mean, we had one returner on the O-line, so we had to kind of get going there and block things a little better. Defensively, we're kind of coming into our own, and we're playing really well defensively now. I don't know. I think we told us, guys, look, we can try to set out and schedule a 5-0 non-district. I mean, we can. We can try to get 5 teams that we know we can win. But I don't know if that does us a lot of good. The year before, we were 5-0, and then we won one of the next 5. And we ended up 6-4. So we played a good, stiff competition. And our team's very unselfish. We're not worried about who gets the ball, who gets the credit, who ends up with the most yards. And as a result, when you do what we do offensively, you have a chance to be pretty good if you're not selfish.
You guys are you've been at this program now for a while. I'm not trying to date you, but I'm just saying, you've been there for a spell. How have you seen this program change in the time that you've been there at Tascosa?
It's my 10th year, and Tascosa's always had potential. I mean, it's a great place. It sits just right in the middle of Amarillo, and we draw from so many different and diverse groups, and we'll have a lot of tradition, a lot of interest in the program, but it always a little bit underachieved in the football realm. And I don't know that we're anything special from a coaching standpoint, but we just put a system in place and had some success early, and then we actually collapsed for a 2-year period of time, and we won 4 games over 2 years. But since then, we've won 9, 10, and then 7, and 10 or 9 again this year. So I mean, I don't know. It has changed a lot. Our expectations now are different. I mean, I know when I first got here, we'd just gotten moved into the Permian Midland district, and I'll be honest with you, as a community, we didn't think we stood a chance against those teams. And that was something that we just, I'd always hear, we do great till we play the teams down south, which means Midland, Odessa. And we kind of changed that mentality a little bit.
We're talking with Ken Plunk, the head coach of the Tascosa Rebels here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, it seems to me that one of the things that has really changed this year, you've always had a pretty good offense, but it seems like it's hit another gear this year. It seems like you guys have had a little bit more consistency, and you've been able to find those bigger plays. Is that a personnel thing, or do you think that it is just, or do you think that it's just scheming around, or just plain old good luck?
Probably a combination of all of it. I think you're right. We're at a different level right now, and as of yet, go back to really the last 5 games. We're probably averaging about 450 yards a game rushing, about 500 total. Anytime you're able to get that kind of yards on the ground, that amount. You're going to control the clock. You're going to control you're going to dictate a lot in the game. I think a little bit of it is we're explosive really at all the 3 positions, at the quarterback, the fullback position, and the slot position. We can throw the ball a bit. We've had some big plays in the passing game, but we're certainly not going to set any records passing.
Mm-hmm. No, you guys, the numbers are not going to overwhelm you in passing, but offensively, look, you got 2 guys who are running the ball. I'll get to one of them who might live with you here in a moment. But the guy who kind of steals the headlines a lot of the time is King Doru, a kid who really seems like he's grown as a player throughout his high school career. You're the guy who gets to see him every day in practice. What is it about your outstanding senior running back that makes him so special?
I think the biggest thing is that he's a obviously Division I talent, but and probably could be a guy that would carry it 30 or so times a game, but he's okay carrying it 12, and he's okay blocking 15 times. He's okay catching 2 or 3 passes, and because at the end of the day, it's about winning the game. And certainly it hadn't hurt him from a recruiting standpoint. He was widely recruited and ended up committing to Purdue, but a little of it is he buys into the philosophy that we have. It's not about who carries the ball. It's about doing your job and letting the team win football games.
And the other guy kind of in that offense, and you guys run the flex bone offense, and the quarterback is the trigger man in all aspects of that. And the quarterback, Joseph Plunk, your son, has really stepped in and been solid for you guys. I'm really interested in kind of his progress throughout the year, because this is a guy who, It seems like he's gotten better as the season has gone on. Just a junior. What have you seen from your quarterback that you think is kind of making this thing go?
I think he's making good decisions. And for the first 6 games of the year, he and Evan Enos split reps, and Evan did a great job as well. And we could have gone with either one of them. Joseph was probably making a few more plays, bigger plays, so we put the majority of the reps towards him. But both of them did real well. As the season's progressed, he's gotten better at making decisions, and our offense is totally a decision-making offense. If you're going to play quarterback, you've got to make good decisions. We can do it with a lot of different kind of players. We've done it. The last time we were in the 3rd round, we had a quarterback that's about 205 pounds, was not very fast at all, but he made great decisions. And when he turned it upfield, we'd gain 4, 5, 6 yards. We've done it with faster quarterbacks like Joseph, where he turns it up, he has a chance to make a few more yards. But the key component all of them have to have is they have to be able to make good decisions. They have to be confident in the decisions, and the rest of the players have to know they're going to make good decisions. One
more question on your offense. You guys, according to our friends at MaxPreps.com, you guys are currently humming along with a cool 88% run ratio. How many pass plays do you have in your playbook?
Well, crazy enough, we probably have more pass plays than we have run plays. I don't understand that. It's funny. I talked to, I don't know if you know Seth Parr at Coronado, which they're kind of the mirror image of us. They throw it most every down. We talk about it, and he says it's the same thing with them. They have very few pass plays, but they call them a lot, and then they have tons of run plays they never call. So we have a lot of them. We got plays we hadn't called in 5 years that we probably still practice sometimes in practice.
I love it. So, on the other side of the ball, the defense, I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the defense, because this is a unit that I think had their struggles a little bit earlier, but seems like they're rounding into form. What has changed, do you think, on the defensive side that have made you guys get on this hot streak?
Man, I think we continue to get better. We've really played good defense all year. The Hannah game, we gave it that was the most points we gave up, I believe, 34. Well, I'll say that Pebble Hills scored a lot late. 34 is the most we've given up. But the Hannah game also had a kickoff return that was almost for a touchdown and a defensive touchdown. So really, they played good defense all year. Probably the difference right now is we're a little more opportunistic. Turning Arlington the first 3 drives of the game was huge, obviously. We run real well on defense. We're fairly fast, and I think we do a good job coaching them. And we didn't tackle well some of the Pebble Hills games, so we came back and we had to go through tackle circuit and do some things that maybe you do more in your two-a-days. And we do them all year, but we had to address some tackling issues. We'd gotten poor at it technically, so we went back and addressed it, and I think that's made a difference, obviously, in the last two games.
We're talking with Ken Plunk, the head coach of the Tascosa Rebels here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, you guys, we'll talk about your opponent here in a moment, but you guys are going to make the 239-mile drive to Midland for this game. But this is
right.
This is not rare for you guys. This is not new. This is something that you guys are used to. You guys have been road warriors all year long. You're kind of in that odd part of the UIL structure where you're kind of on an island. How do you feel like now that you're in the playoffs and you are having to travel longer distances than your opponents maybe are used to? Do you feel like that's an advantage for you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it is. I mean, I don't know how they travel, but I know that from our standpoint, going to Midland, 239 miles is. I mean, we've done that. Our kids do that in ninth grade, and we do that on Thursday night in ninth grade. So, and we do it on a Tuesday night in basketball in ninth grade. So it's not something. I mean, it's just part of the feature of living in Amarillo, Texas, particularly playing at the top level. We travel. So yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's an advantage. I think it probably will be. I don't know if it's a decisive advantage, but I think I was totally fine when Coach Doru said, "Do we want to meet in Midland?" So, yeah, I mean,
sure.
Midland's kind of something we do on a regular basis, and like I said, I don't know that it's a decisive advantage, but I also think it's something that we are very, very accustomed to, traveling this distance.
Yeah, you guys are playing in relatively familiar territory. And now I do want to ask you about your game, 3:30 p.m. at beautiful Grande Communications Stadium out there in Midland,
yes.
Texas. You guys will draw Mansfield Lake Ridge out of the DFW Metroplex. A team came out of a very difficult district in District 7-6A. I'm not going to ask you to give away your game plan, but when you look across the field against the Eagles, what do you think you're up against?
Well, number one, the quarterback's playing outstanding. I'm just super impressed with him. I'm really impressed with him as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that really impresses me the most is they've had a chance that they're 9-2 or 10-2, whatever you want to count the midway game. They didn't finish it, and they played really good people. And even the games, some of the games they've won have not been blowouts, but they found a way to win. Like last week against Geyer. Geyer had a lot of opportunities to put Lake Ridge away, and just by really kind of force of will that Lake Ridge would not go away. So I'm very impressed with them. I think they're super well coached. I think they play extremely hard. I think they're a very talented football team, and they're going to be extremely difficult to beat. It's
going to be a fun regional semifinal in the 6A Division II bracket when the Amarillo Tascosa Rebels take on Mansfield Lake Ridge, 3:30 p.m. Saturday at Midland's Grande Communications Stadium in Midland with their coach, Ken Plunk. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on all your success so far, and best of luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you.
There he goes, Ken Plunk, the head coach, the Tascosa Rebels. That'll be a good one. That's probably one of the toughest games to call this week because it's two teams that are good and are tested and also feel like they're playing at a different level right now.
Sure.
That win last week over Arlington.
I was about to say, they caught them out. Like, watching some of the clips and some of the touchdowns from that game, Arlington was like, wait, where's this offense coming from?
Right,
like,
where's this come from?
They could not handle that flex bone.
And the flex bone's hard to prepare for, and especially for a team like Lake Ridge, where they are coming from the DFW Metroplex, and I would need to pull up their schedule.
I don't think they played a flex bone
There
team.
is, I'm trying to think, Midlothian runs the flex bone. I don't think they played Midlothian. There's only a handful of big school teams in DFW that run it.
Yeah.
And as a result, they're used to playing spread teams. And so to have a week to prepare for it, and a team that's really humming with Joseph Plunk, the quarterback, and King Doru, the running back, it's going to be an interesting matchup. But he's right. Chandler Rogers is playing superb ball right now for Lake Ridge. This is going to be an absolute war, one of the hardest games to call, but a must-see game, 3:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon at Midland's Grande Communications Stadium, Tascosa and Lake Ridge. We appreciate Coach Ken Plunk hopping on with us.